Wait, hold on. Let me try this. Give me a second here. Oh, well, all right. StreamYard just changed something. Let me see. Okay, goodness gracious almighty. Anyways, give me a second. Let me just change my layout so I'm not so tiny. And I apologize for that. I think that might have been my fault. Oh, anyways, my bad. All right, let's get to it. We're 5 minutes late. I apologize. Thank you for hanging out. Anyways, we got a lot more people have come on in the meantime. Thank you so much for everybody putting up with that. Let's get to it. Open houses, one of the best ways to get quick business listings, buyers. Our training is absolutely phenomenal. I just put into the chat, and thank you everybody again for putting up with me. I put a link to this. In fact, I will drop it in again since there's been a lot of comments, and some of you people may not have seen that link. Let me know if that link works. And I just created this kind of I hate calling it a cheat sheet, but whatever. This right here, I put a lot of links to it. And so I would, if you may have to request access to it, and that way you can save it to your computer and you can have it. You're not going to really want to print it necessarily because there's a lot of these click here links that you're going to see in here. But the very top link obviously is to listings to leads. So you can log in. If you got a second screen, let's do it together, because what we're going to do today is make it so that your open house, yours or borrowed, is going to generate leads, both listings and buyers. So go ahead and log in if you have a chance to. Second link here. This is to our main page where we've got all the different tools in order that they are within the account. We've got the recent webinar. And then it's just this is a great walkthrough, as if you and I were sitting next to each other. And in this case, I mentioned about the Facebook ads, automating your follow-up, all right, social media postings. And then we got little comments from clients on what they do with them. A great section here on Instagram, Facebook stories, and there's a couple of videos on how to actually do them. So how to do Instagram with polls and links, how to do TikTok. So great videos there. And then it just goes all the way down, including the nearby homeowner letter. This is a phenomenal invite, so we can invite the neighbors to the open house. One of the major things that we want to make sure that we're doing is inviting neighbors and having the open house set up in a way that is going to engage those neighbors. And any of the home buyers coming through that have a home to sell, we want them to see different things at the open house that are going to engage them, to create conversations so we can uncover those potential seller leads coming through. So we're going to be talking about that today. We're also going to be talking about our database. We want to make sure that we are letting our database know about the open house. And so we got an e-flyer, we got a call script. We want to make sure we invite some of the people in our database. We've got a short form video script in addition to all the stuff for Instagram and TikTok. We'll talk a little bit about the single property website and virtual tours, the listing flyers, great listing flyers, text codes, QR codes right on them. It's like 30 different templates that you can select from. Sign writers. And this will be one of the first things that we're going to talk about, because I want your yard sign dialed in as quickly as possible, especially obviously if it's your listing, because we want to make sure that all the neighbors walking around that property, driving around that property, and even some of the really serious buyers that may go do a drive-by, we want to make sure that your yard sign is dialed in as quickly as possible to take advantage and generate you some amazing leads. So the yard sign is really a very powerful way to generate leads. And then we've got a link to our open house mastery information. This is a phenomenal presentation. It's inside of Listings to Leads. I'll show you exactly where that is. And this walks through how to select the best open house. All right. Not every home is equal. So when it comes to generating leads, all right, what kind of leads are we trying to generate? What kind of buyer profile, seller profile? All right, where do we want to get listings? And that's where we should be doing our open houses. We don't want to do it way too far out in the woods. We don't want to do, a 30th floor of a condo building where it might be difficult to get into for people, which can decrease our people coming through. And you can't really target neighbors at a condo building too well, typically. Then we're going to talk about the 100-point home marketing plan video. This was actually a tip from one of our clients who would play this on the seller's TV. You can play it on a laptop. You can play it on a tablet. It's a phenomenal video, again, to engage homeowners and sellers. We have open house sign-in forms, both online and print. And you're going to hear about why I prefer the print version versus the online version. We got 7 ways to generate listings after the open house is over with. So just because the open house is over with doesn't mean we can't generate more listings. And then a video right there. So that's off the first link of the cheat sheet. Next link here is the 7-day marketing and lead gen calendar for buyer and seller leads. We're going to come back to that. 5 days of Instagram stories with links and polls. That's linking you to Instagram where you can see examples. We'll talk through that today as well. And then just some kind of key mastermind groups, some key links to our Facebook mastermind group of posts either I did or a client would have done. And for anything in the mastermind group, I definitely recommend that you take a look at the comments under the post. That's where usually the best information is at. We've got a seller request visitor sign in. This is a Canva editable link. You can click here. And let me see, sometimes it kind of works a little bit weird because I'm in the editor because it's my account. And there we go. So when you click that link, you'll go to the Facebook post. Go ahead and like the post and leave a quick comment for me. And then you'll see the Canva link right here. And keep in mind, you'll request access. Somebody will grant you access. And what you're going to want to do is click File, make a copy, and then that way you can download it to your Canva account and you can change the image to your listing, change any of the information that's on here. I'll blow that up and make it a little bit bigger. So the idea is that you will edit this to be appropriate for you. Now, when somebody signs in, either on the online form or the paper form, and then you add them to the online version later, either way, they will get a digital copy of the property flyer automatically. They will get a link to the property website automatically sent via email. They will automatically get the free guide, 6 things to check before buying a home. That will be in the email autoresponder coming off the open house sign-in form automatically. And then this is up to you, but if you've got a lender and you got financing worksheets and everything, you can include that as well. But if you don't, you can just delete that, edit this as appropriate. But that's a really nice sheet because we want to make sure that we get people signing in. And if we can put that paper or that sheet on the door, and then maybe right near the kitchen table or the front table where you got the sign-in information. And if you get into our open house mastery, you're going to find out how we talk about having clipboards, have a little neighborhood summary, the listing flyer, the sign-in sheet, and a pen, so they can walk around the property with the clipboard and have all this great information at their fingertips, have the sign-in form right there, fully customizable, and get some really, really great leads. All right, let's go back to that cheat sheet. Your seller showcase video. This is so powerful. This is a 5-minute version of the 100-point home marketing plan. And this is the video itself. And so this is a video. It's in your Listings to Leads account. The link right next to that on the cheat sheet is the how-to video. But this video is in your media library. And people have taken this and they'll put it on their YouTube channel. I got a video on how to do that if you don't know how to upload to YouTube. Or you can just play it from Listings to Leads. Again, you can do it on the seller TV, You could do it on a laptop. You could do it on a tablet. We've even got print flyers. So if you don't have the video, you could actually do a print flyer where people can scan the QR code right there and get the 100-point home marketing plan from you. And these are absolutely phenomenal ways to, again, engage more of those neighbors that we're going to invite, engage more of those buyers who also have a home to sell. We want to make sure that we are in front of them with solutions of how we can get properties sold in this market. Coming back to the cheat sheet, here's the how-to video. So if you click on that, that will take you to a video where I walk you through how to use all of this. And keep in mind, for those of you who are already overloaded, open houses are a thing that you should be doing for the next 2 to 3 years until your business is just so darn good you don't need to. Even then, I would recommend doing them because it's a great way to be face-to-face with people. We want to be face-to-face with neighbors in particular. I want to be face-to-face with potential home sellers. And an open house is one of the best ways to do that. So as you're starting out doing an open house, don't get overwhelmed. Don't get to the feeling of, I can't do this. Of course you can do it. You're going to do it little by little, right? You're going to get better every time that you do it. The only way you're going to fail is if you just stop doing them. Literally doing open houses, if you can do it every single week, and I know people that do 3 a week. I know people that do 3 a week over a long period of time. They'll do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday open houses. And, within a month or two, they're absolute professionals at it. And you're going to start having your own crazy things that you're doing, and you're going to share them with me. We're going to include it in the training that we do for other people as well. And we're all going to get better at this. But if you're infrequent with it, if you're haphazard with it, if you're not thoughtful with it, if you're not following our plan, then you're not going to have the kind of success that you really deserve to have. All right. So just keep that in mind. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't get hyperventilating on this, because you don't need to master it in 1 week. You don't need to master it in 2 weeks. All right. 3, 4, 6, 8 weeks, 2 months from now, by the early spring market, you're going to be a professional, and you're going to think, my God, I can't believe I was that bad or that just uneducated about how to do a masterful open house in a way that consistently is bringing me both buyer and sellers. All right. So let's just take it easy. Let's not get overcomplicated with it. A little information about open house sign-in forms, and then a really powerful, and I just teased it a second ago, but in listings to leads, we've got over 80 different PDF guides. All the PDF guides have a print flyer, and putting these at your open house, and you can get 2 or 3 guides for sellers, 2 or 3 guides for buyers. And as people are walking around, they can whip out their phone, they can scan the QR code, and you can generate and engage people via the PDF guides as well. So it's just another item of value for you to offer at the open house to engage buyers and sellers. All right. You see how that works? So much great stuff. But again, I don't want you to get overwhelmed. I don't want you to, feel like, oh my God, I got to do it all today or I'm a failure. No, you're not. The only time you're going to be a failure is if you quit and you stop and you're infrequent. So let's have a goal. All right. Even, Thanksgiving is Thursday and Friday. Perfect. All the people that are around and all the family members that are coming into town who may be thinking about moving back home or, moving to where they're going to, phenomenal time to do an open house will be Thanksgiving weekend. Absolutely a perfect time to do an open house. We used to do open houses right, between the Christmas and New Year's, because the agent I trained under, he would always say, there may not be as many people around the holidays, but the people that are around are more serious. And so I want to be around when those people are around. All right. So there's no bad weekend unless it's just hail, storm, lightning, and thunder. Nobody's going to be coming out, but we can't really forecast that a week out. So, at that point, just do some database work, do some lead gen work, do some of the expired work that we're doing with our 30-day expired challenge. Oh my gosh, the feedback on that is absolutely fantastic. So when you log into your Listings to Leads account, there's a pop-up, and you might see you will see information about the expired challenge. I highly recommend that you get involved with that. That is so powerful that people are getting their client just got a come list me call the other day. We got the challenge group going on. There's a lot of great information in there. Check that out a little bit later. But for open houses, before we get to the listing, I'm going to point you in the direction, and it's on the cheat sheet. I think it's the second item says Open House Mastery, and it is a presentation that we did. Click Marketing Calendar right here, Presentations, Open House Mastery, and they're all the same thing. It's just one's the checklist, one's the PDF guide, and one's the actual presentation. And we're not going to really go through this. I just want to introduce it to you briefly. This right here will walk you through how to select an open house, some of the pro tips when doing an open house. And it's really, this is more geared towards how to host the open house so that we are going to engage people at a much higher level. So it's just all about the idea of creating an experience. You know, there's so many open houses every weekend typically. And if there's not, there will be next weekend. All right. There's multiple open houses every weekend that these people go to, right? They're going to come to our open house. They'll probably go to a few more. And I want to make sure that we are standing out in such a way that they likely are engaged with us before they even leave the open house. And B, they don't forget us after they leave. I want them to go, we've all done this. You go to 3 or 4 open houses and, I'm like, who was the agent at that one? Or what was this? Or what was that? We don't want to be like that. We want to be memorable. And so take a look at this a little bit later, how to pick the open house, how to borrow. All right. Joshua, yes, you need to be a member of the mastermind group. And in fact, I'll show you how to get to that here in a second. But again, take a look at that. And if you are not in the mastermind group, this is the perfect time to show you. Right next to presentations is resources. All of our YouTube videos are here, Instagram, and the Facebook mastermind group. Just click join group. If you're not already a member, you'll fill in a couple of quick questions and we will accept you as quickly as possible. So take a look at that right there. So again, marketing calendar, presentations, open house mastery for that one. And then if you're not a member of the mastermind group on Facebook, click resources and go right there. All right, Joshua, perfect. If you're not accepted before the end of this call, you will be afterwards. So let's go to listings. I'm not going to get into how to add a listing. Hopefully your listing came in from a data feed. All right. You can click add listing, manual, grab. All right. My MLS listings. So you can put a zip code, MLS ID, check if it's your listing or not. We'll put in listing courtesy of and all of that great information. And typically, if you have an open house, the open house information will come in automatically. If you need to add it for whatever reason, to the far right, second column from the far right, there's add open house. Click it, add the date, add the time, click add and save. And that's going to add your open house. That will flip all the tools from coming soon, just listed, active into your open house marketing tools. The only thing you're going to have to do is click the green market listing button and you're going to be ready to rock and roll. You'll notice there's another link to that presentation for Open House Mastery right here. There's another link to that step-by-step guide right here as well. We got a great, easy checklist that you can download. And the checklist is kind of nice because that way they can just kind of check it off as they're doing it. You know how it is, you're on your phone, you're on your computer, you're doing things. And as soon as you turn it off, it's easy to forget. But if you got that checklist and you got it sitting on your desk, it's an easy reminder. Hey, did I get everything done here that I wanted to do? All right. So the first thing is I'm going to go a little bit out of order. And that is because I want you this is especially for the listing agents, get your open house rider on that yard sign. All right. This is going to help those, uh, the neighbors, people driving by, they see you're having an open house. That's number one. Number two, there's 3 or 4 different things I want you to do. But number one is the status rider for open house. Number two is get a sign rider so that people can send a text. I actually prefer the second one here. The QR code is fine. I'd rather have them text because then I get their phone number 100% of the time. So I want open house on the top. I want this right below the arm. All right. And then the third thing I want is listing flyers. And I know it sounds so goofy, but these are some of the best leads. Even in 2025, these are still some phenomenal leads. And we got the listing flyer here. And notice QR code, text code, a blurb about do you need to sell before you buy? So if we can get these listing flyers on that yard sign as well. Now, if you got this, text to for more information, you don't have to have this on there, but having them both is great. All right. That's going to be up to you. And then the last item, and it's actually on the listingstoleads.com/open house. It's that first link on the cheat sheet. If you scroll down to sign writers, there is a link to a yard sign light. If you got the budget, all right, not everyone's got the budget necessarily, but if it's your listing in particular, this time of year, it's dark, like at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, and nobody can see our yard signs for 12 hours of the day, or at least 10 hours of the day. And we're missing a lot of opportunity in the evening time when people are walking around or still driving. And if they drive by our listing and there's no light on the yard sign, well, then they're never going to see it. And so there's a link. So again, listingtoleads.com/open house. It's the second link on the cheat sheet. So just click it, scroll down to yard signs or sign writer, I guess, and you'll see a link to that light right there. It's just a great little thing to have because that way, again, if we're going to have open house, if we're going to have text for more information and listing flyers, I want to make sure that people can see that 24/7. And that light's got some really good feedback from our clients that have used it in the past. So yard sign, I like to take care of that right away because that takes a little bit longer sometimes to put together. The nice thing about the sign writers is somebody always asks, when you've got an extension in your listings to leads account, that extension is going to stay there. So I can take this rider and move it from one listing to the next and not have to throw it away. So, maybe 20, 25 bucks to get the rider, but you'll be able to use that for a year minimum, as long as it stays in good shape. When you put it in your car or when you're storing it between uses, just make sure, you take a little bit of care of it so it doesn't get beat up and dirty, and you'll be just fine. And you can get that printed locally even, right? Just tell your printer, my text code is the text code is the 10006 in this case, and they're going to text 225-678. Phenomenal number, very, very easy for people. And these are some of the best leads. You'll get seller leads, you'll get listing leads, you'll get buyer leads. And once you've made that investment and you got it up, it's some of the cheapest leads as well. So let's take care of the yard sign. And then next up is Facebook and Instagram ads. Now I'm going to show you this, and I don't want you to freak out. Everything here is customizable. So we say open house in Folsom, click below or text for instant access to all photos, details, and more. And it's got a little blurb from the property description. We got a great image, completely customizable. I'll show you that in a second. We're going to autofill location. So this will be a Facebook and Instagram lead ad. We're going to capture name, email, phone number, and what is your time frame to buy, and a custom question, which I'm going to show you how to set. And this is so important because every home is different. And it's one of the top things that you can do to increase your odds of lead engagement. All right. A lot of people like to talk about how Facebook leads are really, really difficult to engage with. This next trick, this next little step I'm going to show you is going to turn that on its head. And we've seen some phenomenal success on this. So it's going to autofill location. I would leave that, right? For those of you, for example, in Fort Myers, Florida, I know you're going to want to add Chicago or New York or Charlotte or whatever it's going to be. Just keep in mind, if you start adding locations, you're certainly going to want to add the budget. I add the budget anyways, because if I'm doing an open house, my time is worth 150 to 200 bucks an hour minimum, if not more. So if I'm going to sit there, I'm not sitting there, but if I'm going to be at an open house, I want to make sure we got some people coming through. So between the ad, the other tools, the nearby homeowner letter that we're going to use, I want to put some investment in this because I want a rate of return. And with the way we're going to host the open house, we're going to get that rate of return back. So I bump it up to 100. I got people that do 300, 400 bucks a week. Start and end date will be for 1 week. Now I will adjust the end date because it's an open house. And let's say the open house is going to end on Sunday, the 23rd. Then I'll just pop it to the 23rd, maybe move the time up, to a little bit before the open house is going to end. All right. So now we're going to start today. We're going to end it right during the open house. I can change the template. So we got 21 different templates. So for example, I can select that template or any of the other ones. I can edit the text in this here. I can change the color, all of that by just clicking the edit icon. All right, so all of this is editable. The biggest time you're going to want to edit the template is if all 4 photos are of the front of the house. Sometimes agents will upload the photos in groups. So they're like front of the house, front of the house, front of the house, front of the house. And so it creates a kind of an odd situation where all these images in here are of the front of the house. The easiest way to take care of that is go to edit photos in listings to leads and set the first 5 photos for the best 5 photos. That way in the single property website, the virtual tour, the e-flyer, all the other tools, you're doing a service and a help to the buyers or to the people viewing, because now I don't have to suffer through, photo 1, photo 2, photo 3, photo 4, photo 5 of the front, and then the same with the kitchen, the same. I can just see your top 5 photos and get even more excited and probably click by that point. Don't make me suffer through 45 photos to get to the backyard. Show me the backyard in the first 5 photos so I can see what it looks like. Hopefully that made sense. If not, let me know. I can change the image to a Canva to whatever I want. I can put a video here. So all the customizations you want to do, but to the questions that we want to ask. Now keep in mind, when we can ask the right questions, we can get the right answers, or at least the answers that we're looking for, good or bad. But it's going to help our follow-up. It's going to help our engagement. So check this out. And I'll show this twice. Advanced options. So just open that up. That's closed, open. There's a button called create new form. I promise you this is so easy. All of you can do it. Click the green create new form button. And then right here, form questions. And you're going to see that the first 3 questions are going to be full name, email, and phone. And those aren't even questions. Those are, you can see here in the Facebook lead form, right? It's going to pre-populate name, pre-populate email, pre-populate phone number. But if I scroll to step 1, you'll notice it says, what is your time frame to buy? And they're going to say just streaming, 1 to 3, 3 to 6, and so on. And the second question by default is, would you like my free ultimate guide to buying a home? Now, I want to change that. And later, you may want to come in here. I'm just going to scroll down. You may want to come in here and really look at this and be strategic, because this is where you can really up your engagement. So, alternate questions that I like for different reasons. One, would you like a list of price reduced homes for sale? So they clicked your open house ad. What's your time frame to buy? And then the second question is, would you like a list of price reduced homes for sale? The answers are going to be yes or no. Obviously, if they say yes in your follow up, you're going to, you clicked on my open house ad over for my open house coming up. I just wanted to follow up, see if you have any questions. And then I saw that you like to get a list of price reduced homes for sale. What areas are you looking for? So we're able to increase the value that we are offering to these people because they said yes to that. Another great one is if you have a home and you got a lender who can do zero down or down payment assistance, that could be a great question. All right. I got somebody running this right now. They're coming in at about 50% of the people saying yes. And her engagement with these people is through the roof because when they say yes to this, they want zero down and down payment assistance options. And she's running this for a listing. We've got what's changing in your housing needs. And notice I can mouse over these right here to see what the options are. Downsizing to a smaller home, upsizing to a larger home, buying my first home, moving for other reasons. All right. Awesome. I mean, your follow up will be dictated by that second question in a major way. And then the last 5, they're all the same question, but they're for different buyer profiles. So imagine this one here. So they're all what's most important to you in your next home. They're all the same. This next 5 are the same question. It is the available responses that are different. So this one is for first-time home buyers, and it's got replies or answers that are appropriate for a first-time home buyer. This is for move-up family buyers. So imagine it's a smaller home, right? It's a smaller home, maybe in a more urban area. Maybe that's more of a first-time buyer type property, and so that might be the question I ask. Maybe it's a 3 to 4 bedroom home, 2 stories in a good school district, popular with families. Maybe that's the question I want to ask, right? Family move up buyers. Maybe it's a single family home or single story home in an older area. Maybe it's a 55 plus community, right? Whatever it is. Maybe you're in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Sarasota, right? In an area where there's more older people. This could be a great question because if somebody were to say, I'm looking for a single story, easy living floor plan, which is the first option there, it disappears. But if you look on that purple thing right there, the first option is single story or easy living floor plan. Now, when I go to follow up with the lead that I generate from this ad, if that's what they selected, now I can address that in my follow up and say, hey, you clicked on my open house ad this coming weekend. It's a great property. It's single story, primary bedroom, obviously on the first floor, easy living, great floor plan. Would love to have you come by. But would you like to see other properties that are currently on the market? And there's even some that are off market right now. But if you're interested, I could get some information on that for you so you could take a look at them. You see how you're able to provide more value because you asked the right question based on their answer, based on your response and your follow up, you're able to better engage and better provide value. Next one, also great for Southwest Florida and other areas, is for lifestyle second home buyers. So this would be a great question to ask, possibly. And then the last one here is for luxury. Maybe you're in Vail, maybe you're in Lake Tahoe, maybe you're in an area where it's more resort. This could be a great second question in that Facebook lead ad. All right. So does everybody get the power of these questions and the importance of making sure your follow-up reflects their reply? Now, if they say no, then, it is what it is. But you're going to see more than, roughly half the time, you're going to get a response that is going to help you with your follow-up. And so as soon as I select my question, I'm going to close advanced options and just click create ad. It's literally that easy. So click Facebook and Instagram ads, confirm location, edit the text if I want to. I can edit the image if I want to. None of that's required. Maybe bump up my budget a little bit if I want to. And let's see if we can take a look at an older ad. And you can see what I'm talking about here with those questions and how it works. Because this way, when you see how it works, it's a little bit easier. So here we go. So here's an older ad. And you click on it. And so notice this one says, what is your time frame to buy? Right, 1 to 3, right, whatever. And this one, the second question was, see if you qualify for a zero down or down payment assistance. And I can say, yes, let me know. Hit continue. It'll be name, email, phone number. And then after that, I'll be taken to the property website. All right, everybody clear on how that works? Super easy, but yet so powerful. So advanced options, form questions, and then just take a look at the question that you want to ask. Be strategic about it. Think about the property, think about the buyer profile, select the question. And then when you get notified of a lead, so let's say Joshua, hopefully I pronounced your name right. Let's say you do this, you get the lead notification. It's going to show you in the lead notification, for example, what's their time frame to buy. It'll say whatever they selected. And then right below that, it'll say whatever your question was, and it'll give you the reply. So you'll know as soon as you generate that lead, what it'll remind you of the question. Who's going to remember, right, what you asked a day later? But so you'll see it, and then you'll see the reply from the lead. And now I can follow up, phone call, text, email, address their reply to the follow-up, and get much better engagement. All right, let's move on. Social media post. This will be a post to all your socials: Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Instagram, Google. It will link to the property website, just like, let's take a look at a previous one. So open house in Folsom, text. So kind of similar to the ad, but there's no lead form. Right? There's no Facebook lead form, because while an ad is something you pay for, this is free, but we got lead capture here. I got a property video, I got a 3D tour, all my professional photos, maps and local, a lot of great content. Get your home value. I got a client review video. I've got a community video. A lot of great stuff on my listings to leads, single property website and virtual tour. Phenomenal way to but to keep engaging people. Next up is one of the best tools for the seller, and really one of the best tools for you. I mean, this tool right here will help you engage the seller's sphere of influence in a way that's super hard to otherwise. What we're going to do, and I got a little role play for you to help really drive this home. But now this is for listing agents only. So if you're not a listing agent, if you're a showing agent, you're borrowing a listing to hold open, pay attention so that when you get a listing, you know what to do. But for you listing agents, what you're going to want to do is send this post to the seller, and we got an email to share with the seller. Now, remember I said when I organize my photos under edit listing to being the first 5 photos are the best? This is one of the reasons. This way, when I get the e-flyer from the seller who I know, I can see the best 5 photos right there. And the end audience is really twofold. It's a seller's sphere of influence, but it's also their sphere of influence. And check this out. Here's how you're gonna get some of the best leads out there for absolutely free. On the tab, share on seller social media, click the green button. If you haven't done this before, it may say add seller info. So I'm going to click it, add the seller's information right here, and dear Ian and Lauren, and click send. All right. and do it right away for the e-flyer. Click the green button. Typically that will autofill, but you'll see it autofill, and then just click the green send button. You will be CC'd. Your client or the seller is going to get CC'd, and it's going to look something like this. So this is for the e-flyer. I'll show you the post in a second. So, dear Ian and Lauren, the open house e-flyer was specifically designed, blah, 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 right? So here's that e-flyer. Let me bring up the social media post. So here is the social media post. And this is something that the seller will put on their Facebook page. You're going to be CC'd, so you'll get a copy of this email as well. Look how beautiful that looks. You're going to be CC'd as well. And what you're going to do is you're going to call the seller up and you're going to say, hey, Ian, this is Scott. I want to let you know we got the open house coming up on Sunday from 1 to 4. I just got a Facebook ad out. Should be live shortly. I'm doing some social media stuff, and I got a lot of other great things. I'm expecting a phenomenal open house this weekend. I sent you a couple of things to share, one to share on your Facebook page and one to share via email, because you likely know people who know people that would love to move to this area. So in addition to the thousands of people that we're going to reach with our marketing, in this market, I don't want to leave any stones unturned. I want to make sure we cover as many people as possible. And so if you can put that on your Facebook page and share that via email, that will just make sure we get as big of an audience as possible looking at your home. And your seller's going to go, wow, they look great. All right. Great idea. That makes a lot of sense. And all they got to do is just copy that onto their Facebook page. And now what's going to happen is after they put it on their Facebook page, I want you to go like the post, leave a quick comment. Looks great. That's all you have to do. Don't overthink it. This way, you're helping the algorithm a little bit, but even more important, you will then be notified every time one of their family, friends, colleagues, or whoever comments on that post. And you're going to find out that some of those comments from their family and friends are things that are appropriate for you to respond to. So if nothing else, you can like other people's comments. You can reply to them as appropriate. And people are going to click through. They're going to go to the property website. They're going to fill out one of the forms. You're going to be able to engage and follow up with them right from the post itself. And the e-flyer, the same thing. All right. The e-flyer, you can't comment on the e-flyer, obviously, but the e-flyer clicks through to the property website automatically. There's nothing you need to do, just like that right there. All right. Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions on anything we've done so far? All right. We've done the ad. We did those custom questions, which are so powerful. We did the yard sign. All right. Next thing is the nearby homeowner letter. This right here is one of the most powerful tools for getting listings. Some of our clients will use it at just listed or open house and then just sold. So it's phenomenal if you can use it a couple of times over the course of a listing. But at a minimum, if you're having an open house, it sits in the editor. And I talk about in some of the other training on how you can edit this. And this can be an invite to a neighborhood preview. In its simplest form, just click download. Download PDF, print up 100 copies, and go invite those neighbors. Go invite those neighbors to your open house. All right. Let them get to meet you. Tell them, so I would take 100 copies, and I've done this before. Take 100 copies. I'm going to go door knock the neighbors. I'm going to knock on the door, take a couple of steps back. Hi, my name is Scott with XYZ Realty. We're having an open house right around the corner at 15 Ambient Way on Sunday from 1 to 4. And I just wanted to personally invite you to the open house. That is a phenomenal opening line. You're going to be able to see by their energy, by the way they respond. Because some are going to go, oh, Susan and, or Ian and Lauren's house, or, oh, yeah, I saw that was for sale, or, then they might ask, how long has it been for sale? What's the price of it? You know, how do you think it's going to sell? Right? You're going to be able to have some conversations with this, and it is absolutely a phenomenal way to A, meet the people at the door, but B, leave it behind. You might get like a little flyer bag so you can put it at the door and get more of the neighbors to the open house itself. We want to make, we are trying to get into, all right, meet as many of these neighbors as possible. So for an open house, we have door hangers and postcards, which are really more appropriate for maybe a just listed or a just sold. But for the open house, that letter, that letter is just hands down. And not like the first version the best. This is hands down one of the best things out there for putting you in front of belly to belly, face to face with your next listing, especially if you do the open house the way we talk about in open house mastery. So if you take the time and you treat it like a business and you treat it like a performance, right? Because you're really on show. You're on stage at an open house. You can either be the person that's sitting there on their phone when people walk through. You can be the person that's just sitting there non-responsive when people come in, or you can be the person that when people even before they even get there, we talk about getting signs out. We talk about having balloon or flag in front of the property because I want when people, before they even get to my open house, that they know, okay, this person's a little bit different. We don't know how different yet, but they're different because this is a third open house we've been to. No one has had signs. No one has had a flag or a balloon. No one has done the things this agent is doing inside of the open house. All right. Nobody is doing these kinds of things, but we got to get people there first. And then once they're there, we got to hook them. So you really need to be thinking about the open house as a performance, not a weird one where you're some crazy actor, but where you are putting on the best performance possible to engage these people coming through. Yeah, totally. Yeah, Deb. Yeah. Yeah, you can go to Mailbox Power. So Deb is asking, is there an option to mail this letter to everyone within a 1 mile radius? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and you could use Zaire mail. So if you got it out soon enough, I mean, today's Tuesday. If you literally got this out today, they get out Wednesday, maybe two, Mailbox Power is in Utah. Deb, you're on the East Coast. I don't think you'd ever get there in time. You'd have to set this up Monday at the very late, or I would set up Sunday. So that way it gets printed on Monday and then mailed out by Tuesday at the latest. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you know what I mean? Because I would just ask Mailbox Power or whoever the vendor is, I'm located here. You're located wherever you're located. How long is it going to take if I do this right now? Right? Yeah, Mailbox Power, 100%. 100%. Just make sure that you use the handwritten font on the envelope. So Mailbox Power, Zaire, Zair, Zair mail. All right, zairemail.com. Thanks IO. These are 3 vendors who offer a handwritten font on the envelope. And that's really the key. Otherwise, they're not going to open. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time if you're going to send it to where it looks like a business type of envelope. All right. So with that, we do have circle prospecting scripts. So all of you that are inside of our 30-day expired challenge, which is really going to turn into be like a 120-day, 150-day expired challenge because we're going to keep going probably until February on that one. So if you have Mailbox Power, or not Mailbox Power, if you have My Plus Leads, if you have Redex, you could circle prospect these people. And essentially it's the same idea as the nearby homeowner letter, but now it's a phone call. And I would do both. I would do the letter and I would do the phone call. It's let me, if I go to zairmail.com. So there's this one, and then there's Mailbox. Here, I'll drop this in for you. So this is one, and then there's Mailbox Power. Now, the only thing about Mailbox Power is you got to have like a monthly subscription type thing. It's like $50, 100, I don't know what it is. But you got to have like a monthly account. With the other one, with this one here, Zaire Mail, you can just set up you have to set up an account, but it's free. And then you're just paying for the mailing. Does that make sense? So I don't have to have like this monthly subscription fee with this one right here. And then the last one is Thanks.io. And I believe Thanks.io is like Mailbox Power, where I've got to have a monthly subscription to be able to use it. And Dustin Fox, I mean, the guy who, has, oh my God, he's been a client for 12 years, wrote the book 6 Weeks to Agent Success. I believe he still uses Zaire Mail for the nearby homeowner letters. All right. Let's see. We're going to try to keep this. So I'm going to try to go through the database. I'll mention the short form video script. Absolutely free to do. Why wouldn't you do it? And then we'll try to end this up on the open house sign-in form. And I'll give you a couple of really quick pro tips on the open house itself. All right. So the open house e-flyer. There is a database call script and there's an e-flyer. We want to invite our database. Don't ignore your database. You can edit this however you want. It's set. Check this out. So the e-flyer by default, just want to let you know we're having an open house 15 Ambient Way. People click, they go to the property website. Beautiful, stunning, marketing genius. And it says, when this home is sold, it will affect your home value. They click here, boom, automatic. Nothing you need to do. This is all set up for you behind the scenes. We do everything behind the scenes. And it's got my listings to lead signature at the bottom. I love so many of you are using this in Gmail. You're using it in Follow Up Boss. You're putting this in Lofty. I love seeing this from you guys when you email me. And I've got that one going to one of my flip books. So this is my listings to leads marketing plan flip book. And then I got my review website from listings to leads. So all my Google reviews, my Zillow reviews, my testimonial true reviews. And let's see if that's going to come up. It should come up. There we go. So that's my client review website. And absolutely awesome. People see my reviews. I got value offers right here. They can get my 100-point home marketing plan. They can see a client review video. They can download a buyer or a seller guide. So we want to get this e-flyer to our database because it's not just about the listing. It's about all of it. You can send it from your CRM. If you're going to send it from your CRM, you can do one of two things. And this is Lofty, Follow Up Boss, Constant Contact. Select one of the copy code options and go drop it into your CRM. You'll click insert source, insert HTML. Takes 5 seconds. Or it's just as easy. Let me close that. It's just as easy, I think. I just click in here, like select all and copy. And I will go to follow up in listings to leads. And I'll just show you how you drop it into an editor. All editors work about the same. Yeah, Bold Trail, totally. Yeah, all these editors are essentially the same. They may look a little bit different here and there. Follow Up Boss is the weirdest one. I don't know why. So subject line, open house in Folsom, Sunday, 1 to 4 p.m. And so notice if I just paste it in there, like boom. And just, add my first name tag. Look at that. It rotate, the pictures rotate. That's animated. I got my signature at the bottom. Right? Looks fabulous. And again, if I want to put my first name tag, right, whatever, you'll see it in your CRM what this is if you need to, or usually it just pre-fills. I deleted it for some reason, or I can even put that first name tag here, I guess. First name right? And then send that out to my CRM. So yeah, Bold Trail, Lofty, Sierra, Constant Contact, or whatever. You can do this with all of them, and all the links will work. Always send yourself a always send yourself a test email first. Um, just double check. You always want to double check stuff. And listings to leads, I can just go select either all, or I can just say like buyer leads, boom, send it to 257 buyer leads, good to go. That'll get sent. And then I can go check my stats a little bit later under the follow-up tab, see who opened it, see who clicked it, see what they clicked. We got a database call script, which I think is phenomenal. I would call through some of my cold leads. I would call through a couple of B leads, right? I might call through a couple of A leads if I got A leads looking for a home in that area. And as much of anything is just to say, hey, we're having an open house at 15 Ambient Way in Folsom on Sunday, and I know you're looking at some properties in Folsom, and this is a great property to look at. It may not be exactly what you're looking for, but it'll give you a sense to look at the whole area. And then we can talk about maybe some strategies to, some 45 listings expired in the last 6 months. And I'll bring a sheet with me. We can take a look at some of these listings together and see if there might be something that you want me to contact one of the homeowners whose listings have previously expired and see if we can't get you to take a look at their property, right? There's a lot of great ways you can spend this to engage the leads in your database using the open house as the lead in. All right. Some of your cold leads to call up. Hey, with the way the market is right now, the interest rates have come down a little bit, and the 620 credit score is being dropped, although they are still looking at your overall credit history as a more holistic approach versus a just drop dead cutoff of 620. So it's opening up for a lot more buyers to come into the marketplace soon. And so anyways, we'll be at the open house on Sunday from 1 to 4 and start having a bit more conversations. So use that call script. Be a little bit, be flexible. Pay attention to what the person is saying on the other end of the line. Offer value, but you're going to be out in the marketplace. You're going to be out in the neighborhood, and there's no better time. What you want? I mean, yeah, sure, we want people to come to our office and sign buyer agreements or seller, listing agreements. But next to that, being at an open house is one of the best places to be. All right, short form video script. All right, take a look at that later. If you're into doing Instagram or TikTok, you'll know what to do. And if you're not, just take a look at the support post. But essentially, you're just going to click the green send a button. If you're on your phone, you can just copy that into a teleprompter app. Or what most people do is they just look at it real quickly and go perfect. And they record a video. Hey, this is Scott. We're having an open, or I'm sorry, you don't never, they see who you are by your profile, right? You could just say, hey, everybody in Folsom, we're having an open house at 15 Ambient Way on Sunday from 1 to 4. DM or comment below, or you could text 10006 to 25678 for all the photos and details. Beautiful property. It's going to be catered, so we'd love to see you there. And if you live in the area, your home value is going to change when we sell this home with our 100-point home marketing plan. If you'd like to get an updated value estimate for your home now, go ahead and go to california.freehomevalues.net or DM me, and we'll get that over to you as quickly as possible. So you see, I didn't try to word for word it. I just paraphrased the structure in my own language to make sense for how I'm feeling at the moment. So you don't need to try to memorize or, take 3 hours to get this done. You just need to get something out there. So take a look at that script, a fabulous script, property websites, virtual tours, and then let's end it here in the next few minutes on the open house sign-in form. There's an online version, which is great. People are going to tap on the tablet or whatever, just streaming. And the paper version is the exact same, right? Completely customizable. If they put your name in here, I've actually heard this from a few people. If they put your name in there, essentially that means they don't have a realtor. If they had a realtor's name, they would have put their realtor's name in here. So if you get something coming back and it says, and they kind of look at you while they're doing it and they type in like your name, perfect. Now you're the realtor. Continue. You see right there, 6 things to check before buying a home. As long as they don't uncheck it, name, email, phone number, the autoresponder that they're going to get will include a link to the property website. The property website has the listing flyers. They will also get a link to the guide. The really cool thing is when they get the autoresponder, and if they download the guide from the autoresponder, you're going to get another lead notification letting you know, hey, this person here just downloaded your guide, 6 things to check before buying a home, from the autoresponder from the open house. Phenomenal. So you can get leads a day or two later. Here's the print version. Everybody good so far? When you are doing our open house mastery training, you're going to see that I talk about using a clipboard. So get like 5 or 6 clipboards. I got a link to Amazon where you can get them for cheap. Again, the clipboards are a capital investment in a sense, because after you should have an open house box, and so after the open house, put in the clipboards, and that way you've got them for the next open house. So we're not buying clipboards for every open house. We're going to use them from open house to open house to open house. And when you again go through our mastery training, and you'll see where I talk about the print flyer, a chat GPT summary of the neighborhood, the listing flyer, and to have a copy, although you don't share it with everybody, you're going to have a copy to show people of all the other listings, recently sold listings, other open houses, and some other things on it that is going to get people to want you to send it to them. And so what you're going to do is you're going to say, well, I've got one copy. What is your phone number? And I will text it over to you. Right? Or what is your email? I will email it to you. Either whatever's convenient, whatever works for you. But again, our open house mastery training has a lot more on that. All right. And the last thing, for anyone that wants to hang out for another quick minute, remember when I showed you this a little earlier, and there's a link to the mastermind group for the PDF guides. So let me just show you, since we're still together here, there's a tab here called PDF guides, and I'm going to show you 2 different places. So all the different PDF guides here have a print flyer. So for example, secret to buying a home in any season, that would be great for a buyer lead. There's a tab for sellers, a tab for buyers. If I click on the seller ones, and I like to do 2 for buyers and 2 for sellers. So how to sell your home in a changing market, that's kind of popular. So click on marketing tools, and that'll bring you up to all of this. We're not doing all of this. All we're going to grab is the print flyer. So down, like 2/3 of the way down here. And then there's different horizontal or vertical options. And I like both, just whatever one you like. And here is that print flyer. Yes, this is recorded and will be on YouTube. Yep. And I'll show you where that is again. So if anybody wants to scan that, you can scan that QR code. Let me scan it as well. I love scanning QR codes. And yeah, how to sell your home in a changing market came up, and now I can download it right at the open house. And so there's like 80 different guides, all right, under PDF guide. Now there's one under for your 100-point home marketing plan. That's actually not really a PDF. It's not a PDF guide. That is under listings, listing presentation right there, listing presentation. And here, print flyer. And so here's that one. So this is a phenomenal one I would use for at least if I'm going to do one, this would be the one I use for the sellers. You go buy a plexiglass holder, right? Like this, just sits there, looks phenomenal. And now anyone that if you're talking to someone, they say, "Oh, I'm a neighbor coming through." I would say, "Phenomenal, nice to meet you," and ask a few questions. But then at some point, direct them to if they like to scan that QR code to download your 100 plus point home marketing plan. All right. Now, a lot of our clients, what they'll do is they will take they'll print up a version. This is the one for expired, but they'll print the one up for one of their listing presentations and bring it to them to the open house. So you got the video we talked about at the very beginning. We got the print flyer, and then there's actually a printed version that we're not going to let them take, but they could take a look at it. And we've had people get asked, like literally asked by a neighbor to come to their home later to do a listing presentation based on this kind of stuff right here. All right. This is the difference when you do a few more little things. This is the difference between you sitting there waiting for this open house to get over with versus having people engage with you and getting business from it. So don't expect to master it in one weekend or two. Do work at it. This is a skill. All right. We don't just luck into it. We don't just fall into it. We are conscious about it, right? We're deliberate about what we're doing. We're trying to get better at our craft. And this is, if you can get good at doing an open house, the marketing of it, the conducting of it, the follow-up from it, your business in 2 to 3 months is going to be it's going to be a world of difference. Absolutely. All right. Any last minute questions before we all go our separate ways? And again, when you log into Listings to Leads, find more information about our expired marketing work that we're doing together. It's been a lot of fun. Holly Pruitt, thank you so much. No, Jacqueline and Holly. Joshua, I've not received it approved yet. Bay Area. Oh, awesome. All right, Josh. Yeah, in the next 5 minutes, you'll be approved or quicker. Yep. Yeah, for the YouTube channel, go to marketing calendar in your account. I mean, it's just youtube.com/listings to leads or resources, right? Marketing calendar resources. And the very first one is YouTube. All right, Mark, thank you so much. Right. Link for plastic stands. Yeah, you know what, Deb? Go to presentations, open house mastery, the guide. So in this guide is kind of ridiculous. It's like 39 pages. But as you go through here, and it follows the same order as the PowerPoint, there are links in here, like to the shopping stuff. I probably should just make one page like shopping link. But for example, let me make it a little bit smaller. So open house flags, for example. So all the links to everything are right in the guide. Did I just really close that? Let me let me open that back up again. So I'm trying to get back to that page. Right, chat summary, clipboards, right, link to the guide. Vertical flyer holders, horizontal. I think I like the vertical better. I like the way they lean back. Right, $14 for whatever, 3 of them. Right, and you know what? Hey, look around. There might be a sale on some. I just try to get the best I could at the time. But I would. You're not. These are not affiliate links. These are just links. So, no, I don't. I just want to give you at least an example of what I'm talking about. Whether you buy the link or something else, completely up to you. Or just, maybe your office has some of the stuff. Your office may have some of the acrylic holders. But anyways, yeah. So as you go through the PowerPoint, or not the PowerPoint, the PDF, you're going to see links. And I just kept it to Amazon. I'm not an Amazon junkie, but I just figured that's something everybody has, right? Speakers. Look at that. A $28 speaker, 149, 100, 209. I wonder why that's not clickable. Let's see if I do that. Yeah, if any of those links are not clickable, just copy and paste them in. Your kid probably has a speaker. Somebody may have one. These are phenomenal, right? So again, at the open house, we're not blasting rock and roll, rap, whatever, dance music. It's just super soft in the background, right? Super chill. If I'm in the kitchen, maybe I put it in the living room. I don't want to put something too expensive that's going to get stolen. I'm going to be dying. Or maybe I do kind of keep it near me. But no one's going to steal your speak. Well, I'm not going to say that. Anyways, any other questions from anybody? Any questions? All right. If not, thank you so much for joining us. As always, appreciate your time. Get into the mastermind group, leave some comments. All right. Let's mastermind on this, because again, you're going to have some ideas, you're going to have some questions, you're going to have different ways of doing it. And I'd love to give you feedback, and I'd love to get feedback from you. And we can all learn and make this even better. So have a great one, everybody. And for those of you on our expired journey, Deb and others, I will see you at maybe 4:00, and we'll go from there. And Mark, yeah, exactly. A little holiday music in the background, make people feel a little cheerful. So, I mean, we're almost on Thanksgiving, right? So, yeah. All right, everybody, have a phenomenal week. We'll talk to you soon.